Fun Supreme Court story to start the week, as if everybody in the U.S. is not getting hammered with enough political news. You will hear our professional opinion on the Supreme Court case having to do with social media laws in Florida and Texas. As always, we super, super, super appreciate you spending your time to watch the show. And if you click the like button and subscribe, we'll appreciate it even more. Fun Monday story about the U.S. Supreme Court.
Can I say that I think the term Supreme Court is kind of hilarious? I think it should be like
I think it's kind
Supreme
of
Court.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Peter, that's insane. Like, I was literally thinking, like, I wonder if like these Supreme burritos and like Supreme burgers and like Supreme fries, were they just named after the Supreme Court? Like someone was sitting there and they were like, how do we say like super duper good? And they were like, Supreme.
Super gold edition, platinum plated court agrees.
That's crazy that you just said that.
I
like,
think
I was just thinking about this.
Named the Supreme Court before they named the Burrito Supreme.
Oh, I didn't say that the Supreme Court is named after the burrito. I'm saying the burrito is named after the court.
Okay.
Wait. Back up. Sorry, I don't want to talk about the story anymore. I want to talk about the naming. Like, what's you think the burrito?
Yeah, no, bro. Yeah, I think that in like the 1790s, when they were coming up with the Supreme Court, some guy was there, just like Benjamin was just there, just like, this is quite a good burrito. I would actually say it's a Supreme burrito. And everyone was like, Supreme in their fucking dumb wigs. Yeah. That's how it went.
All right, I'll go with that. Why not?
Little known fact, the first session of the Supreme Court was marked by lettuce, sour cream, and black olives.
That's a fact. Historic.
True facts. Get only on the Not So Criminal update, guys. Subscribe for more.
At any rate, the Supreme Court on, I guess, probably last Friday, because this is as of September 29th, chose to take up a case on the Florida and Texas laws that would ban social media companies from basically banning Donald Trump. And this ties into like the Section 230 protections that social media companies have, and raises like a ton of content moderation questions.
I mean, is it blatant though? Is it all just about Trump?
Well,
I think that's where it started.
He's a catalyst, easy example. It's not just about that. It goes to the freak out about conservatives claiming to be banned by Twitter. So they had that whole congressional hearing only to find out that actually it was the Trump administration trying to ban censor content. So it's, largely projection, but that's the way things go.
The problem here is if this somehow makes it through, this opens up a real can of worms, to put it lightly, because now these companies, first off, they're private companies, so they have their own acceptable use policy, right? They have their own terms of service. So if I break their terms of service, they are allowed to ban me, and they don't need to tell me why, right? It's like I own a burger shop and someone walks in.
Supreme Burgers.
Supreme Burgers. They order an extra large Supreme, and I'm like, you're not wearing shoes. Get the fuck out of my Supreme Burger joint, right? Like, now all of a sudden, what they're gonna try to probably argue is, you're not allowed to do that. You have to keep them.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know, man.
So who controls it then? Like, I don't know. It's a total.
I think that's how it's related to like the Section 230 thing, which says that. So the issue with Section 230, and I think to some extent this is, are the social media platforms responsible for what's posted on the platform. If somebody posts a thread, if somebody posts something racist, if somebody posts some call to violence, is the platform responsible for that? And Section 230 says no, they're not. So then you get into this idea of moderation. Well, if they take it down, now they're moderating the content. They're no longer just a neutral platform. So are they then responsible to moderate all content, or just content that they want to moderate? And are they doing that fairly, or are they biased in their moderation, and who gets to determine that? Like these are the issues that are tied up here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
good
a tricky
issues.
one, but I don't know. So I'm at this conference right now, and I'm thinking a lot about like stuff that I've seen in the last couple of days. It's the Ad Filtering Dev Summit in Amsterdam. So it's pretty cool. But one of the things that somebody pointed out about GDPR is that there was this question asked of like, okay, if I'm an EU citizen and I go to the US and I interact with a US based service and then go back to the EU, does the GDPR apply because I'm a citizen of the EU? And the answer was no, which is, unsurprising because I'm in the US. But like, why is that? Given that the GDPR covers EU citizens, it's because that there's a sort of fairly sensible part of the law which says it doesn't. It looks at the focus groups. It looks at the main target audience of the service itself and the location and what like currency is the website in and all these fairly sensible things. There's no like exactly strict definition. So I would hope that in the case of like Section 230, there's something similar. It's not just a black and white thing with it's a clear-cut situation where like, oh, if it publishes anything, then they're responsible for every single piece of content on the platform. Or if that's
not how we do things here in America, Peter.
Yeah,
black and white, all or nothing.
We're not responsible for anything at all on the platform at all. So if the terrorists, someone posts plans to a bomb, that it wasn't our fault, we can't do anything. Like it's got to. I would have hoped that the law itself would be a bit more nuanced and says, okay, in these situations with this description, it's applicable and it's not. So
well, that's the debate though. Is the purpose of the law is so that if I run a website, like a comment section is a good example of it. If somebody comes and leaves a comment in the comment section of my site, am I responsible for the content of that comment? And Section 230 says no, I'm not. But then if for example, there's a terroristic threat. And you would say, well, I should take it down. If I do take it down, then what happens? Because now I'm moderating content, and now I have made myself responsible for what's on the site because I've shown that I'm gonna edit it.
But that's what my point is. That like, I would hope that the law could be written in a way that was like took into account context. So yeah, there was a piece of content that we actively took off our site because it was very dangerous and we thought we had to act, but I think still don't claim responsibility for all the content.
Yeah, and that's what this Supreme Court case is about.
Okay, so I mean, is it going to set a precedent for everything? Like,
possibly,
or is it going to be a very just applicable to that narrow?
No, generally, when these things pass, they'll use them in future cases. So, like, you can reference. Yeah,
I understand.
Like, this will definitely cover like every social media website in America that serves American citizens.
But every social media website in the context of this case, as in the circumstances.
No.
Well,
every website with any form of social, probably like, because the argument is like these are like civil servants, right? So like they should have a platform. I'm pretty sure.
Well, the law is dumb anyway.
Yeah, it's super dumb. If I have a company, I should be able to tell whoever the fuck I want that they're not allowed, no matter what. I don't need to give a reason. Like,
while not claiming responsibility for everything.
I don't know what aspect of the law is being challenged, though.
There are certain exceptions to that whole like who's responsible, like with, for example, like child endangerment, right? Like that type of content. I'm pretty sure legally it has a whole or like its own ordeal where like you have to act, right? Like as the website owner, like you can't just host that type of stuff. So that is like one terrible example. That's a good example, if that makes sense.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So definitely something to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to have a big impact. Hopefully it gets struck down. It's not clear
Also,
that that's going to be the case, but interesting case to keep an eye on for sure.
I should say that since we are all lawyers, anybody who's watching this can consider this absolutely.
Oh my God,
advice.
we are not lawyers. We do not give legal advice. Everything we say is basically wrong. Like,
but we are
just
financial
terrible,
advisors.
Terrible. We are not. We are not. In fact,
right. That's right.
Financial
We're not
advisors. No. If anything, we are literally tabloiders who talk about tech stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
We are neither of those things.
Mhm.
However, we
is
do
wrong.
have some. We do have some NFTs
Don't.
coming out. So if you
Oh
wanna,
my
like,
God.
Guaranteed to go up in value.
yeah, 100%.
Guaranteed. Wow.
Yeah,
What a
get
claim.
in.
Get in now.
taking
Only
pre-orders
10
now.
million slots.
We
Taking pre-orders
guarantee
now.
a 10x investment increase in your investment.
The not so critical T.
Yeah.